concern and the functions and the duties of our Pikitup is not hindered by this particular protest and the strike. Thank you very much, Program Director. Over to you.
MD, I think let's go through the operational plans.
Thank you, Program Director, City Manager, and good morning to the members of the media. Despite the ongoing disruptions, Pikitup is committed to initiating immediate cleanup actions to ensure safety and restore normality throughout the city of Johannesburg. And these are the measures that we have put in place. We have engaged our ad hoc contracts, which are service providers that are contracted with Pikitup, and they are assisting us by providing us with trucks that clean the city of Johannesburg. So the request from them was to give us additional fleet because we do know that we have a huge backlog. The complement that we usually keep of our trucks is about 351, and that includes your compactors, your tipper trucks that deal with illegal dumping, the compactors, the bobcats, the tippers, the TLBs, and we also are ensuring that we are engaging the owners of those trucks to assist us with additional workers that would cover up the gaps where we have depots that are not operational. We are engaging with management throughout the depots that we believe have a challenge, especially where there are perpetrators standing at the gate. We are negotiating with them before engaging SAPS and JMPD to go and remove them so that we get to understand their challenges. And one of those included the casuals that felt they deserved to be part of the recruitment process. So with that, we did advise them that Pikitup is going on an ongoing recruitment drive, and that would be done in a phased approach. Phase 1 was initiated in December 2023, of which the appointment of those occurred in the past week. So the next drive will be initiated now in the month of May, and that would be concluded in June. We do believe that we could look at consideration of those who are in partnership with Pikitup, including your casual workers. But that will not necessarily be targeting casual workers because we have a lot of groups that we work with. Pikitup is assisted by about 3,000 EPWP workers on the ground. We have a database of 101 cooperatives, and under those cooperatives, we have appointed 3,000 EPWPs. So those are contracted with cooperatives, not directly with Pikitup. With the contracts, the ad hoc contracts, which is the owners of the trucks. So there are no direct contracts with Pikitup, but considerations will be made in terms of ensuring that those that are be considered during this recruitment drive. So that would mean some kind of ring fencing, but not leaving out those members of the community that are job seeking. So the fleet complement that we are putting down now is considering these depots that we believe have a backlog. The inner city, we have added 21 compactors there, 12 tipper trucks, 3 bobcats, 3 Marlboro that is looking at Sentin and Alexander. We have added 16 compactors, 8 tipper trucks, 2 bobcats, 1 mechanical sweeper, and 2 TLBs. Trucks, 2 bobcats, 1 mechanical sweeper, and 2 TLBs. And then mid-range, 16 compactors, 8 tipper trucks, 2 bobcats, 1 mechanical sweeper, and 2 TLBs. Norwood, 16 compactors, 8 tipper trucks, 2 bobcats, and 1 mechanical sweeper, and 2 TLBs. And then Rodiport, which is the last one, 16 compactors, 8 tipper trucks. We have also considered the green scorpions in the inner city that are assisting as additional hands in the city of Johannesburg. And we have negotiated with them to assist us. We are working night shifts as well, where we are able to, and then we will be working throughout the weekend as part of our catch-up plan. We have communicated in areas where we have backlogs and where we know that operations are not happening, that at least they could take their waste to our garden sites, those who can. but we definitely are working on a catch-up plan. We see a difference throughout the city of Johannesburg. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, MD. Thank you, City Manager. I think colleagues, at this point, we will take and then get the responses, and if need be, we'll then take a second round of questions. So with just a show of hands, please indicate, you give us your name and the media house that you represent, and then we will then take your questions and I will direct your questions according for a response. So if the show of hands, I think I have one on this side and the other.
Hi, I'm Inga DPC from Landfill in Clinton. So public order policing was deployed last week Friday, and on Monday no arrests have been made. I just want to find out if that has changed. And second question is, how many depots are currently functioning? I think Monday it was 2 out of the 12. Has that changed?
Okay, thank you. I think MD, you can take those. The public order, I think there's some arrests that were undertaken.
Right.
So the JMPD to the number of depots. MD?
Yes, there were arrests that were undertaken because we learned that it's not only the casual workers and EPW, but rather the members of the community as well that are participating in part of the protestations. In terms of the operational depots, we are now looking at about, we have a total complement of about 12 depots throughout the city of Johannesburg, and about 7 are fully operational. The 5 that I mentioned is not fully functional.
If I might just ask to follow up, how many people have been arrested?
We were given figures of about 5, 6, but I will allow Captain Mangaliso. It's 5.
5.
Yes, yes.
5 people were arrested because they were in contempt of court. Remember, the court order was saying they're supposed to stand in a particular area. And when we asked them to say order and they did not want to abide with that, they were arrested. It's only at the same depot where they had arrests.
Thank you. I think I saw another hand from there. Yeah, let's take that.
Theodore Mashele, ENC. The contractors are contracted to the truck owners and not Pikitup. Is that going to affect how Pikitup will respond to their grievances?
Okay. Yes, they are contracted through the contractors, which are ad hoc contractors, the trucks that are assisting us. So we call them casual workers, as they call them. So what gets to happen then, we say we know that they are working within our space. They understand our operations. So we believe that the next can be considered in terms of ensuring at least that they get given an opportunity in terms of the job opportunities that would be advertised. But they will have to compete.
So also just to emphasize the point, so I think legally, as an entity, as the city, we have an obligation to, as an equal opportunity employer, as and when we recruit, we have to obviously advertise to the rest of the public. But of course, part of the requirements is the people must have the experience, the know-how. That gives them an advantage. So in this case, I think it's important that we will try and ring fence, but obviously we must comply with our labor laws in the country and foul of that. And I think at this time it's a conscious decision we are making as the leadership that we will reserve certain of those to absorb them, because they know, pick it up, they know the depots, they know the areas, they know the topography. So it's much easier when we have them on board. Of course, we can't absorb everybody because of the limitations and the financial capacity that we have. But in the next round, we're certainly committing to obviously ensuring that we get them on board. Thanks. Any other? Okay, let's take from this side. Alex?
So we're not going to be hiring any more ad hoc workers, so they're going to be permanent employees. I just wanted to understand slow, I needed to take down those numbers of the extra equipment, please. And can I ask just one extra question that doesn't pertain quite to this? I'm trying to find out how full our landfills are. Where are we in terms of how many years we have left on our landfills? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to hand over to MD to just really re-emphasize the point about the recruitment process. So as you know, so Pikitup creates a number of employment opportunities through different initiatives. EPWP being one of them, cooperatives being one of them, because we work with communities. And then of course you have the ad hoc suppliers, which is where most of the casuals come from. So as part of our recruitment drive to reduce unemployment, we then advertise positions so that they are then recruited. And I think that's the next phase of the recruitment process, because we had done it in phases. We took 300 and we'll take another 300. And of course, when the budget allows, as you know, today council is sitting to approve budget. Once that budget is approved, then the leadership at Pikitup is then able to give us additional numbers, which we'll do as a second or third phase. So we're really about increasing employment as the city and pick it up. I'm going to give the MD to just deal with the landfill issues, but I think we still have a life there. But MD, you can handle that and we can get to it.
Okay. The question around landfills, I do know that in whatever interviews and documents you've had, we were given about 3 years in terms of the airspace that we have in the city of Johannesburg. However, there are endeavors that we have undertaken. Those include procuring of land adjacent to our landfills for expansion. They also include improvement in terms of our operations to engage your technical approach so that we are able to expand and heighten the landfills that we are currently using. We have also considered, because the northern side of Johannesburg, we do not have airspace at all. The 4 are all in the south of Johannesburg. And in the north, we have engaged in a strategic partnership with 2 entities that own landfills. Those would be Mooiplaats and Chlorco. And then that's where we're dumping on the northern side of Johannesburg, and that assists us in terms of reducing waste that gets channeled to our own landfills in the site. It reduces the expenditure as well that would be incurred in terms of traveling from the north to the south. But also there's a program called Separation at Source, head of throughout the city of Johannesburg. We've gone out again on a request for information so that we can go for a request for proposals for strategic partners that are keen on working with us in terms of separation at source, so that throughout the households, we get households separating, we change behaviors through education. Well, we have a group of about 21 cooperatives that we are working with currently that are assisting us with separation at source throughout the city of Johannesburg. We are also negotiating with communities, influencing and trying to get them on board the separation at source kind of culture, because we believe if that could work, then we would reduce waste that goes to our landfills. So that drives our regional offices. They are also assisting us in terms of driving this campaign. So yes, 3 years as per the books, but we do know that extension, expansion, separation at source. Lastly, there is a program that was initiated a few years back in the city of Johannesburg, and that is called Alternative Waste Treatment Technology. It is looking at the integrated waste management processes that look at treatment of waste and processing of waste. So that means that whatever waste we collect, raw as it is, then gets to be separated. Whatever can be recycled is set aside, and then whatever is not recyclable, it gets channeled to our biodigester and to the incinerator. That project is planned at our Robinson Deep Landfill site. We have started also with DBSA on board now, assisting us in terms of getting the private sector on board, because we believe that this can only work if it could be a PPP, because it is quite costly for the city of Johannesburg. So that is the ultimate. The Robinson Deep facility is the first one at this point in time, but integrated waste management towards waste minimization in the city of Johannesburg is our model as Pikitup and the city of Joburg. Thank you.
Thanks, MDCM. Do you want to talk about the I think last week you signed off with National Treasury on the waste to energy as part of dealing with that.
Yeah, so I think one of the other things that we are moving into is to look at alternative waste and waste management, and in this case, waste to energy. So already we started certain processes where we've signed off with other spheres of government in order for us to then look at different types of models. Because as the MD indicated, if you look at the lifespan and so of our landfill sites, we then need to ensure that we look at things differently and look at different approaches, and that is where the waste to energy will come in as well, and we've started with those processes and we've started to sign those off as well.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. Yeah. Okay.
So we're a little late. Maybe I might have missed some of the questions I am about to ask now. I just wanted to find out contingency measures for Pikitup while the strike is currently underway, and also just a summary of the recovery plan, considering that there's been about 8 days where services were actually disrupted. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask the MD really at high level because we already addressed that. Maybe you can do a one-on-one after this so that you get the detail. Sure. But I think we are already addressed, just really at high level in terms of our recovery plan. But maybe do a one-on-one post here and Tatisi, we can coordinate that so we can get the detail. Or maybe we should leave it to the one-on-one. I'm saying maybe let's do the one-on-one and the MD can then address you on the one-on-one. Is that fine?
That's fine.
Okay. Colleagues, thank you very much. I think also just to add is that the waste pickers are really our partners. I think part of the MD, as she was saying, that we will look at alternatives. So we really do want to work with them in terms of separation of source. On that note, colleagues, let me thank you very much for your attendance, and we will keep the citizens updated on the progress as we resolve. We do want to resolve the impasse, and we want to make sure the city is clean. As you know, in a week or so,